All right, Matt. So you took a PMP a little while ago. How did it go, man?
Uh, it went great. I had to. It took me two attempts to
Yeah.
get it. I'll say the first time I I followed the plan to a point, but um, not like I should have. Not like you and the coaches were saying. It's um, that's such a key piece is having the plan and sticking with it because it's really crucial to do that. So
All right.
um, that was by far the biggest piece that I feel like it helped me succeed on the second time.
That's awesome, man. And so I know everybody's got like a little journey of how they got here. Just talk us like the short version of like, how did you get into the PMP? Like, how did you get to the point where you succeeded now? Like, what was the story, basic story?
Um, I had a solid battle plan. I mean, I had weaknesses that was hindering my practice tests. So I had, within my evaporating data dump, I had whether it was quality,
Mm-hmm.
some items and risk. Um, I would say quality and risk were the two ones for me personally that were always giving me fits on my practice exams. And then just sticking to what I had to do with my time management because that was a killer for me
Yeah.
on the first go around.
So how did you approach time management this second time?
What I did is I had a graph that basically broke down the 200 questions
Mm-hmm.
and where I needed to be within segments. So I broke it down in 25 question chunks.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many things going on for me personally when you're taking an exam. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want just like focused time. It was more, okay, where are my milestones? Where do I need to be at question 25? Quick look. Okay, but my major milestones were like question 50, um, question 90. Okay, so that's your break. Where do you need to be?
Yeah.
That's my time. Okay, but then I also want time to review those flag questions.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I went through that break, it was question 140 and then question 200. Those were my four major pieces that I looked for my time.
Okay, that makes sense. And then like as you had that like you had that down, you knew where to look, how to look, where you should be at that point. So takes total sense. Um,
Yeah,
keep going.
no, I was just gonna say, it. I broke it down two different ways. One, if it was say the test was 4 hours, and
Mm-hmm.
if you're gonna take
Just
the practice exam, okay, here's 3 hours, whatever. But you just have to get in a mindset of when you're taking the exam, you're gonna see that your time go from um, it's not going to say 4 hours. It's just going to go in reverse, if you will. It's
yeah, just count down like
just counting it down. So it's just a matter of getting it to the point of whatever. Everyone's different how they want to see that, but it
mhm.
that worked really well for me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So let's talk a little bit. Like you went through masterclass, you went through the accelerator, stuff like that. You went through all the coaching calls. Um, what made a big difference for you as far as the accelerator goes? Like what were some of the components that you thought were really helpful?
I personally thought day 3 and day 5 of the 7-day accelerator
Mm-hmm.
really gave me an aha moment, if you will, as when I was going through the training because I spent a lot of time in the master class and I did every step that you recommended. I followed what the coaches were saying, and the classes were awesome. They really help. I'll say push you outside of your comfort level, if you will, when you first get into it. Like all these people are watching me. I don't know if I know the right answer, but it's a really good thing for um, a student that comes into it. But I thought for me, day 3 and day 5 really helped me like get more focused on what I needed to do to pass this exam.
Mm-hmm. And day 3 is all about how we solve problems and how we approach questions and stuff like that. Talk us like, how did that help you? Like, what did it take form as? Like, what did you learn from it? Like, talk to me about for someone that doesn't know what day 3 is all about.
So the first go around, I was more just like you get a question like, okay, cool, is it A, B, C, or D? Well, you have to have a plan in order to get these questions correct, because just the way they're worded and
Mhm.
the way you see them, like just the way you phrase it, where are we, what are we doing, and what is it truly asking?
Mhm.
It sounds easy or sounds simplistic, but when you're doing these questions, if you just consistently stay in that mindset,
Mhm.
it for me, it was a game changer, because first thing, like, I can cross these two out, there's no way we're not even there,
Mhm.
or we've already been there, type of thing. That's where that really helped me big time. And then once it get into day 5, it was the flows, those 7 flows that I must have watched that video, I don't know, 8, 9 times, just
Okay.
I could feel like, all right, I really felt like I knew those flows, but
Mhm.
I wanted to be able to just recite them, to, I'll say, verbatim, just like, these are the flows, and this is total. I can explain it to anyone in my family why these flows are rolling through this way.
That makes total sense. And I know that like you made connections with other students and things, kind of like the community aspect, like with Jeff and all the other coaches and stuff, or Jeff's a student, but the other coaches. How did the community and like the ability to talk through things with other students, how did that help you as you went through this?
I really thought that was just super helpful, because um, your community, the community within, you can put a question on. It doesn't matter what time of day you have that question, you're going to get an answer.
Mhm.
Someone may have the same question, and it's just really cool how everyone helps each other, find how to get that answer. And there may be another way to look at it, more than one way to skin a cat, if you will. But it's really it's really helpful. The coaches were unbelievably helpful. Just uh, the way they each have their own perspective, but
Mhm.
the way that you can learn from them is just, it, I can't thank them enough. I mean, the time that I had with them, and their experience really was what helped me get through this exam.
That's cool. The second time that you went through it, was there a point when you knew like, okay, I feel pretty good. I can do this. Was there what in your mind helped made you realize that if it did, if there was something?
So when I took the exam, I mean, you're so spot on. Like, when you get this exam, you're going to get the first 20, 30, 50. Everyone's going to be so different, but
Mhm.
they literally just, it hits you like, what are they asking? Like, where,
Mhm.
and part of it is, I think, is nerves.
Yeah.
But as I was going through the first 20 questions, I was completely like in a full out sweat. Like, what
Yeah.
is going on? What are
Yeah.
they asking? And I was just taking them and flagging them. And I just think to myself, you've got this.
Mhm.
Stick with the basis. What do the coaches tell us to do?
Mhm.
Go back to the fundamentals. And really, once I did that, and I'll say after I went through my first break and going through them,
Mhm.
the questions just seemed to flow. Everyone had a different um, piece that they're asking, and I really use what Coach Salvador said.
Mhm.
He, you have 200 questions. You have to use each of those questions as that's that's a different customer. So
Mm.
each question is a customer.
Yep.
So when you go to question 51 and you're so hung up on it, when you get to question 52, it's a new customer. You cannot bring that baggage to that question and treat it as a whole. You know,
That's genius.
that really helped me, because when I got to a question, that's where I really struggled in the first exam. Is I was taking my baggage from the
Mhm.
previous question into the next umpteen questions, and you
Mhm.
need to just have a clear slate when you
That's
get to
awesome.
each one.
I think that's really, really great. That's a really good perspective to see each 200 of them as a new opportunity and just like, I want a new one. Whatever happened, happened. Let's be clear. That's great. And so like, as you went through the course and you know, worked with people, coaches, you know, the other students, et cetera, do you look at your normal project work any differently now? And if so, how?
I look at it quite, majorly differently as far as when we're doing the work on a project of it sounds simple, but like, hey, what are we doing for communicating? What's our plan? Like, who
Mm-hmm.
are we communicating to? How often do they need to have that communication, and what are our forms? Just all the pieces that go through the 49 processes. I think through those now when we do a project, and it's why are they looking to get this, when, who needs to get this information. Let's have that plan. Let's
Mm-hmm.
go through that. you know I'll say the two pieces I really take away are the stakeholder engagement and the communications, because that's so easy on a project to, if you're
Mm-hmm.
not doing well, it's going to show pretty easy.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Cool. Well, this is really, really good. And, you know, there are people out there that probably were like you, like they wanted to do this, they worked hard, they failed the first time. It's no big deal. Like for those people that are picking themselves up and coming back at it, what would be your recommendations for them? How should they proceed to go forward?
I would say, the success on your platform is amazing. I mean, the coaches are awesome. The community is super helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I would say to just stick with it and listen to what the people are telling you. I would say success leaves clues, and all the people that are within this community and the people that have their PMP, I would really listen to what they're saying for an advice of what to do, because they want to help and they want to see you succeed. But there's times that, like I would always say to Jeff, don't let those highs get too high. Don't let the
Yeah.
high get too high and the lows get too lows, because it's a grind. It definitely is a grind. You take these practice exams,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you hear it a lot, is you get a 60 or whatever your
Yeah.
score is, and you're either ecstatic or you're like, oh man. But
Yeah.
I think you just have to work with those ups and downs. But if you stick with the plan and you stick with what you and the coaches say, you're gonna ace this thing.
That's awesome. And when I talked to Jeff and did an interview with Jeff, he said that Matt told me not too high, not too low. Like, so he said like success leaves clues. Like I was like, how did I hear that before? I was like, oh yeah, Jeff told me that before. But I think that's like one of the key things, like as we're going through this, um, you know, you just want to be humble and proceed through and like take it as a learning experience, all of it. And then when we do that, good things seem to happen. So that's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I was, and when I say that, success leaves clues and all the ups and downs, but
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Eric Thomas. I mean, I'm listening to all these YouTube videos, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie. After the first time, and I knew where my faults were by not passing the first time,
Mm-hmm.
and it just more. I really had to lock in and just get more focused than what I was, and I thought I was focused, but it flat told me you've got to dive much deeper,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes a lot of time to get this, and everyone learns at a different rate. But
Yep.
I would definitely say, your program and your books, that's what I followed. That's what I hung out, grinding with. And I think you see it a lot of people, how many questions do I need to do, or when do I know I'm ready?
Mm-hmm.
I think you're ready personally when you just you can see these questions and you can break them down
Mm-hmm.
simplistically of, this is where we are
Mm-hmm.
and this is what we would do next, and you can explain that to someone in your family, like, yeah, I know you don't understand this, but this is why we're doing this, and this is where we're going to go next.
That's beautiful. That is a really good way to think it through. I love the perspective of like bouncing back and then how you know you're ready. Like it's not some kind, it's like you have to tell it's like you arrive. It's hard to explain to someone who's not there yet, like how you'll know. But once they get to that point where you just describe, they're like, yep, like I'm a little nervous, but I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready. So, all right. Well, that is really,
Absolutely.
I appreciate everything, Matt. It's a little sad that you pass. It's good, but it's sad. I'm a little sad. But we're going to do a ton with this alumni thing that we're trying to go together, because like so many of you guys are already friends and there's so much to learn and like share, like, hey, I'm doing this in my job, or I have this going. Like, so we're going to get that going, and we're excited to see you in there. And I really, really appreciate the time, man. So
I appreciate everything that you and the coach has done. I mean, Coach Kevin, Coach Rob, Coach Sandy, Coach Salvador. Can't thank them enough. It's their time and their investment that they put in, and their knowledge is, I can't thank them enough.
Dude, don't worry. I'm going to thank them enough for you. So they are great, and I appreciate everything you've done, and we will talk soon. I'll see you soon,
Thank
man.
you.
Yes,
Have
sir.
a great day.
You too. Bye-bye. Thank you for your time.
Bye.